What's up? Welcome in to Snuffing Torches. Myself, John Rich Clemmer, our Survivor 48 episode 9 recap, right? I think that
Yep,
was.
9.
Fresh off my Fiji trip, you could see the island beard coming in. A lot of people saying I look island hot. I'll talk about the trip a little bit towards the end, as much as I can say of the episode. If you got questions in the chat or anything. But that's why we weren't on last week. So apologies for that. But yeah, we'll recap this episode. I thought this was a great episode. Good blindside, good bad blood. Like David, I thought was going to tear their fucking heads off. Like, no, thanks for playing, guys. Like, opportunity of a lifetime. Like, he was angry. I think overall, David is honestly one of the best castings of the new era. Like, I think he was such a unique character where he didn't know the show. I don't know if you've seen there's clips where like he's like, what's the host name again? Jeff what? Like before he got on, like he really didn't know the show. He's just like this true meathead. Like I think he was a good, like it shows that there's a benefit to not casting all super fans. But like got out there, kind of got a hang of the game a little bit. I thought he kind of got a bad rap the last couple of weeks where people were like, oh, David's so paranoid. It's like he was 100% right. He was like, yeah, Kyle and Shaheen are going to flip on me. They're too close with Camilla. He was kind of just unlikable in the way he talked, I guess, but like his read on all the situations were pretty spot on. And yeah, great blindside.
Yeah, David, it was an interesting example of why communication is so important. He was absolutely right. All of his intuition was correct. And he's a very strong player, so he had that box checked. The problem was he just couldn't communicate his ideas very well without sounding like a paranoid, insane person. And that's a big part of it. And that's a big part of life. And maybe that's why, he seems like a frustrated guy in life. And maybe that's a big part of it. His communication sucks.
That's probably right. How right was he? He was right about Camilla being like more of a threat than they thought. But I don't know. Was he necessarily right about Shaheen, about Shaheen and Kyle turning on him like before he got paranoid? Because that almost seemed like more of a result of his paranoia.
Well, I think he picked up on it when he was like, why the hell is Kyle fighting for Camilla so hard? Like last week, when it could have just easily been Camilla, where if you're in a tight six, why do you really care, right? Like what minority number goes home? So I think he was, he was rightfully like, what's going on?
He's right there.
Yeah, like what's going on there? I think Kyle and Shaheen are going to turn on me. And then Kyle and Shaheen did turn. I mean, so did Eva and Joe, but I think it was more Kyle and Shaheen.
I guess I'm probably just picking nits a little bit, but it did. I don't think Kyle and Shaheen were necessarily going to turn on him.
I do.
Until he blew it up, though. Not until he got paranoid.
It expedited it, but his initial thing.
They're all going to turn on each other eventually.
No, but his initial core thing was Kyle's loyalties don't lie with us; they lie with Camilla, and he's right. Kyle's loyalties do in fact lie with Camilla. Now, the problem is he's going to people like Joe and saying you went back in your word, which is the last thing you tell someone like that. Like, that's the last thing Joe wants to hear, and you're going to piss him off. But that goes back to communication or the lack thereof.
Yeah. And also just knowing when, like, it probably wasn't that important yet to, like, that didn't matter. It's like, okay, like, we'll burn this bridge in a couple of weeks instead of, you're right. Like, he was right, but he couldn't wrap his mind around, like, all right, these people aren't with me yet, but maybe they will be in a week or so. Like he couldn't accept that.
Now, I will say, like, I actually think David is someone I probably would have wanted to keep around because he's so loyalty first that if you're in an alliance with him, he's probably not going to blindside you. And if you get to the end with him, he's pretty unlikable. And like as Camilla kept hammering it, his jury management was not outstanding. So I get why they turned on him, but I almost think Mary would have been the target, maybe. Like, the David-Mary alliance out of nowhere is so funny. Like, the fact that they all of a sudden just became this tight duo. Like, I remember last week, or it was from last week's episode, but there was a tweet that was like, it's like, David, the 5 strongest need to all stick together. We are the strong 5. Also, here's my new best friend, Mary. She's with us now. Where did that come from? The strong 5, by the way, is such a bad alliance name. They could have come up with something better than that. But like, I have no problem with, like, I think Chrissy was right last week to clock it and to be like, hey guys, we got to start playing the game because she was doing what she could to save herself. But you can't blame David and them for getting together and be like, I was kind of laughing earlier where it's like, it's crazy. It took 48 seasons for the strong people to be like, hey guys, let's just all win the challenges and we'll also decide who goes home every time. Like that, it's not rocket science. I have no problem with them forming an alliance based on that, but you knew it wasn't going to last.
I want to push back on a little bit, and I don't know if I even believe this entirely myself, but you were saying how you think like Mary is the player there, not David. But what if David goes on an immunity run? Like I guess that would be my concern with.
But like I'm saying that's not a concern because I never really would want David out.
That's fair. But again, so all right, once again, playing devil's advocate here. I don't entirely believe this, but like maybe you do want him out because just the numbers. Like once you start getting lower, like you don't want him creating a block because of somebody you do want to, get rid of or what have you, because he can now manipulate the game because he has all these immunity wins. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Like the less people outside the alliance get out, the more power he has and everything.
Correct.
But I don't know. To me, he just wasn't a threat to win. And like I would always be trying to eliminate people that I view as threats to win before just a big physical threat.
I have a question for you guys. Let's say David keeps his mouth shut as a normal human being for these last, 2 episodes. Mitch goes home tonight, 100%, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page on that.
It was almost like because the first however many weeks, it was kind of apparent that David was a little bit like crazy, a little bit of a loose cannon. He's talking about his girlfriend and all that. And it kind of.
By the way, I hope didn't break up with him like tonight. Like at 9:31, David may have just been broken up with.
Sorry, David. You're right. Jesus.
The lonely trailer in that front yard tonight.
Yeah.
But no, I was going to say it was almost like for a second there during that strong alliance, they all kind of just like forgot how crazy David was for a second. And then it kind of became apparent at the beginning of this episode, like, oh yeah, Joe's going to fucking hate this guy in about like 5 minutes. Because like even like during the challenges when he's looking over to Joe and being like, oh, I respect you so much, dude. Like little things like that. Like it was only a matter of time before Joe because Joe had no problem in the end going kind of lying to him, going back on his word and voting against him. I think Joe was probably despising him by the end of that.
It seems like everyone did. It seems like other than Mary, the whole camp did.
Yeah, I think there was an element too of just like we don't really want to be around this guy anymore.
Yeah, he became too much.
Yeah, but I actually think the big losers of this move might be Joe and Eva. I think Joe and Eva's best chances were to go with this strong 6 to the end. It's let's all stick together on the strong people, the biggest threats, loyalty. Like if they stuck with that and you got to the final 6, you got a chance to make something happen. Now that the floodgates are open and it's almost more of a normal all-out war where it's like, hey, let's get rid of the people who have the best chances to win. Joe and Eva are at the top of that list. The fact that nobody has come for them yet as like the tightest duo. Eva has these advantages. Joe is just so likable. They should be next, and I'm for it. I want to see Joe and Eva. Like I want to see the end of this like unstoppable duo.
I kind
of
of
out on them for a couple weeks.
You're out on them too, John?
With them the last couple weeks. I don't know what it was, but a switch went off of me. I'm tired of their whole honesty thing. What was really starting to annoy me about it is it's just like no shit. The honesty angle works for the strongest fucking players in the game who have the numbers. Like you can't play the honesty card when you have all the numbers and you're winning like every challenge. Like that I feel like you don't get credit for being honest if that's your situation because like no shit, like you want to play that way. It's
easy to be an honest player if you're in a majority alliance.
Yeah, and you're like the strongest guy. So them being high and mighty about that was starting to piss me off.
I also just feel like they've had the game too. Like I don't dislike them as characters or people, but like I'm just saying from like an entertainment standpoint, I feel like they've had the game so easy for them where like they just seem like this unstoppable force that on any other season I feel like would be like we've got to stop these two that I eventually want to see people wake up and be like we've got to do something.
I was a little bit annoyed that Eva threw out Star's name earlier. Like Star gave you a fucking immunity item.
Yeah, fuck her for that, honestly.
Yeah, true. I forgot about that.
I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I obviously we love Star. This is a Star first show. We love Star. Star forever. But so that annoyed me quite a bit. I was like, I don't know, man. Like maybe you give her, I understand if you keep the 6th, but maybe you make her the 7th then.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, the Star Updates account is fully out on this season. They're starting to revolt a bit.
Yeah, I mean the lack of screen time for Star and Mitch specifically is crazy. Now, I don't know if that's just because we saw like it was funny. It's like all 7 people strategizing. What do we do? What do we do? And then it was like Mitch and Star giving each other swimming lessons. Maybe they're just not playing that hard. But I mean, we did see like Mitch at the reward was like, we should get rid of David. And Star did have the moment where she went up to David and Mary and she was like, let's get rid of Shaheen. They're like, no, Star. And then she's like, all right, like back to the ocean. And she ended up voting for Mitch. Like she wasn't even in on the David blind side. But yeah, I think Star's just kind of doing her own thing. I think one thing about this season that I did like and thought would be cool if we got that final 6 was really no goats. Whereas like, I think Star at this point, if she gets to the end, as likable as she is, and she's funny at Tribal Council where she's like, you know, laughing about Camilla, I don't think people are going to be doing too much respect for her strategic gameplay.
No, I think you're right. But I guess as a viewer, it seems like anytime Star gets camera time, she is pretty entertaining and pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised, especially with these hour-and-a-half long shows. We're not seeing even just her like commentary on whatever is going on in camp. Like I just think she's easily the funniest of the people left. So like I'm surprised we're not just getting even like comic relief from her. She does seem to be like willfully ignored. It's weird.
And it's funny with the lack of screen time they're getting. Like I almost forgot, like going into that tribal, like they technically wouldn't have even needed Joe and Eva's vote to get out David if they didn't want to. Like there was so much more that could happen. Like they could have flipped Star like in a second if just anybody went up to Star and told them they had the numbers. She would have voted for David. It's almost weird that I kind of forgot for a while that the Strong Alliance doesn't even really have the numbers unless like if the other people can just get a little bit organized.
I was thinking the same. Like they didn't need to, like the edit almost made it seem like Joe and Eva, or especially Eva, were the swing votes. It's like they didn't need them at all.
Right.
It was Kyle, Shaheen, Kyle, Shaheen, Star, Camilla, and Mitch. They could have just taken out David like that.
Now Camilla did vote for Mitch, but only because she's probably just out of the loop.
No, she didn't. Camilla voted for David.
Camilla
probably voted.
No, Star voted for Mitch.
Oh yeah, Star voted for.
I think
he's out of the loop.
Yeah, no, Star just was like, you know, last thing they told. But like that's crazy. Like, why if you're Kyle and Shaheen, and then why would you not tell Star the plan?
Yeah,
I guess maybe you're afraid that they're going to run to David and Eva.
Maybe.
Or David and Mary. Sorry.
Yeah. Why risk it if you don't need, especially if you don't need the number?
Right. It's just like I think my first move would have been let's get Star instead of let's get Joe and Eva, but maybe they just figure we don't want to blindside the two of them as well.
So how does it shake out now? Like, you know, you have Eve. You guys talking about Eva and Joe, right? So Eva and Joe are pretty tight with Shaheen. You think Kyle's pretty tight with them, Camilla. So I almost think we still have a 5-person alliance, or am I kind of out of the loop there?
I mean, Joe and Eva, like you said, obviously tight. Kyle and Camilla, obviously tight. Now it's like Mary is kind of a free agent. Mary, Star, and Mitch are sort of floating.
Correct. You still have Shaheen on your side.
Yeah, you got Shaheen, but like Kyle's a little wary of Shaheen, I feel like. So I don't know. I think it's interesting now to see where it falls, if there's like an uprising maybe against Joe and Eva or something, which is why I think they could be in trouble. But something I've liked about this season is that I feel like it has been pretty clear of like, these are the alliances. You know, I think a lot of new era seasons get so like crazy vote flopping and like, you know, week after week alliance block. It's like, who the hell is with who? This has been all right. There's the strong 6, minority 3, but there's some, you know, overlap there. So we'll see how it reshakes out. But I mean, yeah, if I'm the person that has impressed me the most is Kyle. I think Kyle's playing a great game.
Me too.
I thought even his little montage job story tonight was kind of refreshing for a new era one. It's like, yeah, I partied a lot as a kid, like got a lot of public intoxication. Like, you know, it happens. I was shocked he was in jail for that. I didn't need to go to jail for that.
Yeah, 2 weeks. It also sounded like he did a whole semester's worth of school in 2 weeks.
He couldn't have been like, bro, finish the work when you get out.
Yeah, well, it must have been finals week or something. He packed a lot of stuff into jail too.
I will say I don't really understand how it had to do with anything. The whole thing was I'm telling this story because I don't like confrontation. But why does that have anything to do with confrontation?
Yeah, I thought it was more just honestly, I was kind of thinking the same, but like more, I thought it was a really smart thing to tell Joe. Yes. Joe is somebody that he hears that story, he's going to eat that up. And like now Kyle and Joe have this really strong bond, and Kyle's got his bond with Camilla. I think that Kyle's playing a fantastic social game. I think strategically he's doing a lot of things that like I'd be like, oh, that's the move I would do. You know, like I think he's followed that the most. And obviously he's really good in challenges. And now David is out, so that bumps him up like I think Kyle is. I mean, we'll save it for the end, but I think Kyle would be my new winner pick. I think he's really fun to watch.
He probably gets the most credit for that whole thing, I'd imagine. Like if we talk about who got David out, I mean,
Shaheen too. I like the little flashback they showed where Shaheen was like whispering it in people's ears.
Yeah, but it goes all the way back to Kyle just trying to save Camilla.
Yeah,
he flipped that into getting David out over the course of 2 weeks, which was pretty impressive. I mean, David's probably not the brightest guy to like outwit there, but he did it.
So I'm guessing we're all on the same page here. Let's say we're all in an alliance here. We're like, hey, you know what? We got to break up the Joe Eva thing, right? Like it's getting too. We're all voting for Eva, right? Like because she has the two immunity, the two idols basically. I know one idol and one safety.
I mean, or you say because of that you go for Joe because it's a risk that she plays it, but
right. The only thing is, one of them she can't use after she's gonna have to start using them soon anyway. Don't you want to get her before she has to start using them? I guess.
Yeah. You could split too. Like if you get all other 6, you could go 3 on Joe, 3 on Eva.
Correct.
I'm using it the next 2 votes. Honestly.
I kind of am too, right?
Yeah, I mean, then you're guaranteed final 6.
Yeah, like you get yourself that far.
Or I might try to get through the next one. And then you're guaranteed final 5 because you have to use the other one at 7.
It sucks to go home with both those in your pocket, though, man. That would be tough.
It's tough. And also, she can.
Now they don't have any numbers at all. Like she's got to just survive.
Yeah, I don't know. So, I guess let's talk about that advantage. So, anything earlier in the episode was. I guess the main thing from the episode was just a ton of, or from early in the episode, was just a ton of like awkward arguments between Kyle and David. I feel like where they were just like, so we're good, right? And they're like, no, we're good. Like it just kept being, I feel like very awkward between the two of them. It's like, all right, maybe Camilla's next. Like as soon as they get to the beach, the strong 6 are like, all right, let's not even talk about who's next, but it's going to be Camilla, right? Like we're going to do Camilla again. And then, after that we have Eva sneak off in the middle of the night with the advantage she got from the reward last time. Shaheen sees it, wakes up Joe, and is like, "Uh-oh, like what's Eva doing?" And I'll say this from now being out. Like I always say that I would never want to sneak off like that. It is so fucking dark out there. You really cannot see anything. Like I think I would now take the risk, and I'm shocked that Shaheen saw it because like it really is so dark, and like obviously we have it with the infrared camera lights or whatever, but you really can't see 2 feet in front of you. So I was surprised she got caught at all.
He must have just been awake and
it must have just been bad luck. But even if you're awake, you might just be like, oh, that's a shadowy figure going to pee.
Yeah.
But can I just say what a great shot that was? It was a shot of she's walking.
Yeah.
And in her frame here, you have a shadow, like you have like a hooded, it looks like a horror movie. Yeah, like the young girl like walking down the woods and you have a hooded man behind her. It was a great shot. They must have been so excited when they got that one.
Yeah, that was real. Like it was almost to the point where I was like, "That's so perfect." Like, is that a producer or cameraman by accident in the background? Like that was very cool. So she goes off. She immediately gets an extra vote. But the thing is, if she wants to risk it, she has a 50-50 shot at losing her extra vote or getting safety without power. She does it, gets the safety without power. Then she's got a 1 in 3 chance for a full-on immunity idol, but the other 2 make her lose everything. So she stops at the safety without power there. I think she played it exactly how I would have played it.
Yep.
Okay.
So without power,
although
it's an immunity idol.
What?
It's just as good as an immunity idol.
I agree. It's sometimes better.
Yeah, then you don't on your hands just remove yourself for a whole week or a whole
downside to it. the downside to it is that you kind of leave your alliance in the dust if they need you as a vote.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it also, like John said, keep your hands clean. The advantage to me isn't worth sacrificing potentially in a 33% chance.
Not at all.
When what you already have in your hand is pretty good.
Yeah.
I have an issue, and this was brought up in chat, and I've seen some of this. Some people are saying the producers are trying to make this give Eve all these advantages. So I guess in the last episode, when they sat down, I saw this on TikTok. I don't know how true it is.
Oh, yeah, I saw this too.
I guess they had like what they were specifically assigned certain seats, and I guess that's pretty rare in Survivor. And the advantage was directly in front of Eva. Okay, so let's assume Eva was given the advantage. On this thing, she has these like two things, the 2 tubes and the 3 tubes. We don't really know what's in either tube. All of them could have been advantages.
It's true.
Like, and if, I was thinking that too. I'm like, well, we're never going to know if it's a negative thing. And the fact that you pulled one positive, yeah, it's 50-50, but I don't know. I think Survivor is on the up and up, so I don't want to like say it's not because I love the show and like I do believe it is. I don't think I don't think they are trying to gear it, but if you were going to gear it for one contestant, it might be like this girl who is battling autism.
I really don't think there's like any chance that they did that. And I did see the TikTok about, which it is weird about where the advantage was, but I will say it was in chips. Like there was only one thing of chips. So if you're going to do, it's not like it was in her taco. Like chips are the one thing that's going to be passed around. So like theoretically anybody could have said, hey, pass me the chips, and they end up with it. But yeah, I think the easy solution to that is you just shouldn't have assigned seating. Now, maybe that's because of like camera shots and whatever, like the height of people. But I really don't think it wouldn't make sense after all these years to be like, we're going to rig it for one contestant. I would be stunned.
I choose to not believe that stuff happens.
Me too. I just want to, I saw it going around. I will say I don't like the thing in today's episode where you have 2 options, but you never see the negative option. So that allows people to then, I don't know. Was there ever a negative option? I don't know. I don't like, was this a way for producers to get another idol or another situation, like another positive thing in the game? I don't know. Like, I like it more when it's a thing you have to complete to get the thing, as opposed to you go there, you choose between 2 and you never see the negative. I don't like that.
There's so many laws of like, because we even knew it from doing Surviving Barstool the last season where you had the box and you could only get immunity in 1 and 3, and like the game show laws when you have that much money at stake, like you really cannot fuck with it. And
as well as the reputation of the show,
right?
Survivor's
I
been
would
going
be
on forever, like, and they've always been on the up and up as far as we know. So like, I agree, Tommy. I don't, but I think when you put in things like the chat, like the thing tonight, you allow those questions to kind of come to the surface when you don't need to even allow them. And also, it's like, I don't think it's that exciting watching someone pick between 2 tubes. It's just a bad television. That's me.
Yeah, she could have used some kind of, I don't know, puzzle or something. I don't know.
I was actually I caught up on last night. I actually kind of I've liked some of the mini games they've been doing on the journeys. Like I actually kind of liked the one they did last week where it was like you're trying to fuck the other people over with how many balls you take.
Yeah, I did too. I liked it a lot, actually.
Like, yeah, it would have been cool if she had to do something. I mean, obviously, it can't be that exactly, but I agree. If she had to do something like that, I would have liked it more.
You didn't watch the show there?
No, I think we were on the island as it aired.
I know, but I thought maybe when you get back, you then have a special screening or something. I don't know.
We were gonna, but it was jam packed. Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe they were gonna have a screening night for all of us, but it just didn't work in the schedule.
Oh, all right.
I was gonna say, I want to know what happened if Shaheen followed her all the way there. Has anybody done that before when they sneak off into the night?
I feel like he could have, right? Why not?
He should have. I don't know why he didn't.
I'm with you, John. I thought he was going to.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this will be interesting, and then he just kind of hung back.
He like made like a sad face and sulked in his hammock. Why didn't you just follow her?
Yeah. I mean, I will say it worked out for you that she came back in the next morning. She immediately told Shaheen, Joe, and Kyle. But
that's why you tell your people. I'm saying that a lot. I just like being honest with people. I think it works.
Yeah. So she's got the safety without power. Let's see, what else do we got? We went over the swimming lessons. Challenge was like keeping the ball up. I was kind of confused by the mechanisms of this challenge, to be frank with you. You hold the stick up and it keeps the ball up there.
Yeah,
I guess it
sandwiching it between the
keeps that lever.
Yeah, it's just sandwiching them. Right.
And it must be very like sensitive where if you even move a muscle, that lever drops.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pretty interesting like challenge. I kind of liked it.
I almost think Joe kind of had it figured out at the end where he like went off to the side and it was kind of like hooked in there a little bit. Because with everybody else, when it was dead center, it appeared that like the slightest movement, it just rolled all the way down and you were fucked. Joe kind of had it in like a weird spot that I think ended up working out for him.
I did think it was funny that it was immediately the strong five left.
Yeah.
Like they all dropped and it was like, yep, these people are the best. Another David Joe showdown. David, I thought was going to win it. He's like, I got you for the reward. Joe ends up winning it. Joe, I mean, I'm now seeing a lot of chatter. People are like, is this just the most obvious Joe win of all time? And we're just not seeing it coming. I could like, if Joe ends up winning, it's just like start to finish one of the most, I don't even know if it's dominant, but just like easy wins. Like he's like so obviously a threat to win and nobody's taking a shot at him. I still don't think he's going to win. I still think people are going to wake up and be like, we can't let this guy get to the end.
Next week it's coming. Something's got to start happening next week.
I think you're being unfair, Tommy, to Joe. So let's say he does win. I think branding it as easy is dismissing his personality. Like he is so like likable and obviously like people really respect. You see people go to him, like even like Eva or today Kyle. Like, people like go to. He has this like presence. It's almost like who was the wedding planner? The woman who won a few seasons, like 20 seasons.
Kenzie?
No, 20 seasons ago. Like many, like she's like one of the greatest seasons in Survivor history. The wedding planner, the wedding lady.
Oh, Kim Spradlin?
Kim, yeah. She had like a special like aura to her where people just like, yes, Kim, whatever you say. Like, and like this like magnetism. Hers was more cerebral, but Joe's is more like emotional. And I feel like people are just like drawn to him. And I think it's easy because he's Joe.
I agree. Easy was probably the wrong word. Maybe just like unchallenged, I guess. Like more just like nobody ever thought like, wow, we should get Joe out. Like you said, Kim, I guess, was more of like she strategically made sure she was never a target. Joe, himself and his like charisma just keeps him from ever being a target.
Correct. Which I think is
a big part of the game. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying like it would be like almost boring somewhat as a viewer. It would be like it would almost be the most socially dominant game we've ever seen. Like there's been people who have played, like Kim, Boston Rob, Tony twice, strategically dominant. Whereas his was just like his likability was dominant.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. His like his charisma, his personality was one of the most, if not the most dominant we've ever seen. And maybe he is kind of like when he was talking to who's the kid that got voted out today? David. And he was in the hammock. He was almost like a Godfather type thing. Was like, you said you went back on my word. It was like, I felt like I was like Paul Sorvino in like Goodfellas. Like, it's over for you now, buddy.
Yeah, I did like, but like, I wish he had more of that. Like, I feel like for him, it was like he was genuinely offended that there was a suggestion he went back on his word. And then he did end up going back on his word. Like, I wish he had more of that mob boss aura, but he did have some of it in that moment. But listen, I like Joe. He's obviously likable, but like, I kind of want to see him get voted out because I just don't want to see him like waltz his way to 1 million.
I can't help but root for him. Like he won me over too. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's fair. He's incredibly likable, but
I like him a lot more. I was kind of out on the whole strong alliance, but I definitely like him the most. I was kind of out on Eva, was way out on David, but Joe, even today, especially, kind of brought me back.
Yeah, he's a charmer.
Eva annoyed me today when she's like, "Why are all my friends fighting?" I was like,
"Yeah,
right, we're playing for $1 million here. This isn't summer camp."
So challenge, Joe wins. They go on the reward. Kind of come up with the David plan there. I liked when Kyle was like sort of throwing some shade at David and Mary's relationship. He was like, I'll just say they looked like really close friends. I never got the vibe that they were like romantic, but that was the first I was like, oh.
Yeah, I feel like the cameraman maybe missed a shot there that would have been funny to see or something.
I was surprised Kyle went that far with that. Like, I know he stopped himself, but he still went pretty far.
Yeah, I mean, he got out what he wanted the message he wanted to get out.
Especially where David has a significant other, and I don't know what Mary's situation is, but like, didn't Mary talk about her boyfriend or something?
Like yeah. When she was hugging on the pole.
Yeah,
she was like, I'm pretending I'm cuddling with my boyfriend.
I was surprised Kyle was that loose with the lips there, but who knows what's going on? We don't know.
Yeah. I think David was just distraught. He did not take that loss well at all. Because he was right to, because
him. I mean, it was like all week. It was like, or last couple weeks, it was like David being like, I think they're coming for me. Everyone be like, David, you're being paranoid. Nobody's coming for you. And then they vote out David. David and Mary knew it. They knew it was coming. But I mean, what I think was dumb by them, and is like ended up being David's downfall, is that Mary is single now and dropped a song on Spotify about it. But what I think ended up being their someone in the chat just said that. But what I think ended up being their downfall is that David and Mary, more David, were like, listen, if we're wrong and they're betraying me, then that's the downfall. Like, I want to stick with this strong 6 and prove a point that this is the way you can play the game. And I'm just going to vote Mitch no matter what. It's like, no, if you really were that concerned and correct that they were coming for you, then do something about it.
Yeah. Star's just sitting there.
Yeah. Star came to you and was like, let's get out Shaheen. You could have used her.
Yeah.
Like that's honest. That honestly was the difference in the game, is that David was right. His intuition was right. He knew that he was probably going to be targeted. And when he had an opportunity to do something about it, he just shrugged it off out of like no reason, really.
He just thought he could. I guess he just thought he had the numbers. He thought they weren't actually going to do it on him. I can't believe he didn't make I guess we'll talk about this in Tribal. I can't believe he didn't get Joe hard on his way out about like going against his word and stuff.
I think he wanted hard.
Like,
go after
go at Joe hard.
Oh. I can't believe he
Joe real hard about like, you lied to me. Like, hit him where it hurts. Like, he wanted to, I felt like, but he.
Well, also he doesn't know, right? Because Mitch did get 3 votes, so you and Mary voted for him. You don't totally know who the other one is, but yeah, I would have liked that too.
Yeah, I just felt like but again, you're right. Like they didn't have the numbers. It very easily could have been them 3 who voted for him. So
yeah,
or who did.
David is going to be so miserable at Ponderosa. Think about how he was after losing that challenge.
Oh yeah.
Oh, him, Cedric, and
get some milk now.
He gets his chocolate. Him, Cedric, and Chrissy. Imagine that group.
That is quite
Moby David.
I gotta send you guys this. I'll play it off my phone if you can see it. This TikTok that I thought was like a fake Survivor fan account, and it was just like Cedric's real account just posted this himself. So like music, I might have to take that off YouTube. It's too long. But it's like, I'll send it to you guys. It's like Cedric just like, look at his TikTok. He's just like, it's like a rap music, like hype up of him walking out to the jury bench. It's very funny.
Him making the jury. Man, I wish Say was on the jury though.
Yeah, me too.
I wouldn't mind her sitting there.
Kind of like Cedric there though. I think he's capable.
They're both actually pretty funny jury members.
Both would be better than Chrissy. We can agree on that.
I'm going to be honest. I mean, obviously, we get to talk about last week. I kind of liked Chrissy. I thought Chrissy like made some good points. She was like, guys, we got to do something. We got to get together and take out the strong alliance. Like she was trying to play the game. I think that, a lot of times it's like, oh, the oldest female in the cast, she's going to be like a Heather, like a goat or something. Like, no, she was a player.
But why did she keep waiting to do it until Tribal?
That's it.
She did it 2 weeks
ago. I mean, I would imagine. Well, no, she tried earlier. She was like, let's take a shot at Shaheen, like earlier or 2 episodes ago or whatever. I think she was trying.
But
wasn't good at it.
In Tribal, she was a little short. Like, she should have actually tried to, like, flip the vote then before she got voted out. You know how, like, sometimes that'll happen at Tribal. They're, like, they're pulling each other to the side and shit. She was, like, 1 step short of going for that. Because she was giving the speech. She was right about everything. But then she just kind of shut up, and then it was like she's just voted out.
Yeah.
She also did so in an incredibly unlikable way, or
Yeah, that is true.
unlikable, like an unsuccessful way. Like, there's no way that's gonna work. It's like
Right, like you have to build one-on-one bonds with people,
Correct.
and then use that. Like she was just like, "All right, everybody, come on."
She's like, why are you letting the strong people run the game?
Yeah.
Like, screaming out her window, like at some apartment tenement. Like,
But
you have to build bonds.
Yeah, she should have at least offered up a plan. That's what I was saying. Just say let's all vote for Joe instead, or just try something, because she really just she just didn't say anything. She just kind of stopped yelling, and then no one knew what to do, so they just voted her out anyway.
Right. She's mad at the philosophy, but had no strategy behind it.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say she actually understood the strategy of what should have happened, but had no ability or social game to make it happen.
Right.
I also, to my original point though, I don't mean she was the worst. I mean her in the jury to me is bland. I would much rather have Say and Cedric in the jury
later on.
What's that?
She might have some fire. She had some fire at tribals. Maybe she'll have some fire at final tribal.
She would have had more fire than Say. That's what I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
No.
Well,
Say is obviously a once in a lifetime jury member.
Yes.
Yeah. Say and Cedric are liable to vote for absolutely anyone. There would be zero telling where those votes are.
Here's all I know is that Cedric will not vote for the winner. Cedric will definitely vote for the person that comes in third. He'll continue his streak of just voting for anyone and everyone and it never mattering. True, I bet.
100%.
If Camilla makes it to the end, David's going to be like, how's, if I'm David, I bring up jury management. It's like, how is your jury management? I'm never going to vote for you.
Is there anything else from the episode that we're missing? I'm going through my notes here. Blah, blah, blah. No, I think we got most of it, right?
There's so much Kyle versus
David. Yeah. Going forward, let's do a winner, a jib, and a 0-0. I think I'm changing my winner pick to Kyle. I've been on Camilla. I still think Camilla has a good shot. I saw some people in the chat being like, "Oh, Camilla's a goat." I don't think that's true, but I think Kyle is just playing such a good game. I think him or Shaheen. I think it's going to be Kyle or Shaheen. I can't decide who, but I'll go Kyle right now.
I'll stick with Camilla. I don't think I have Joe ahead of Shaheen on my list. Honestly, I'm not that high in Shaheen.
Really?
I think he's a good player. I just think now we're getting so tight in the game. I'll stick.
He's
with
a great
Camilla.
narrator too for the edit. He's always kind of explaining things, and I think that goes a long way.
He's a good voice of reason too on the show. I feel like.
I've had Camilla since the beginning, so I'm sticking with her. I was starting to think Mary could creep in. I no longer think that even a little bit after today. Today was a rough episode for Mary. I just can't see it anymore. I think she's too out of the loop with what else is going on socially to see her come.
But she could have an underdog comeback. But yeah, I mean, for now, I think people just see her as oh, that was David's little sidekick.
Yeah, and it was weird. I don't know. I feel like she seemed a lot smarter until this episode. I'm not gonna lie.
Next episode is huge for her. How does she now maneuver now that David's gone?
I think Mitch is
official winner picks. Kyle.
I'm on Camilla.
Camilla.
Okay. 0.0. I like him. I don't think Mitch has any chance to win anymore. I just don't think he's getting enough screen time.
I think he does, and now that I think that strong group's broken up, he could almost be maybe a bit of a ringleader for maybe not a ringleader. I don't know. I think a lot of people like him. I don't think he rubs anybody.
No, I agree, but I just feel like the winner wouldn't him and Star have been invisible at points the last couple of weeks, and I feel like they wouldn't do that to the winner.
It's probably maybe true.
It's more based on trying to read the edit than trying to read gameplay, honestly.
Yeah. I'm going with Mary for 0.
Me too. Same.
I still think she's got a chance for an underdog comeback. I don't know, but I think that Kyle, Shaheen, Joe, Camilla are the strongest 4 chances. Then I'd put Mary. And then I think 6th, I'd probably put... Who am I missing?
Well, 1-1 is Star, obviously. So
Star, yeah.
True.
But no, I think that Joe, I think the best chances are Shaheen and Kyle, then Camilla, Joe, Mary, then
Eva?
Star, Eva.
I
just don't. I think it's too hard for her to win.
I think so too. I'm honestly closer to 0-0 on her than a lot of other people.
Yeah. Jib cut of the week. I mean, we should almost rename it the Star Toomey Jib Cut of the Week award, because we shouldn't be allowed to give her the jib cut because she would get it every week.
Every week.
It's almost like when they stopped giving LeBron MVP or Belichick like Coach of the Year.
Voter fatigue.
Yeah.
I'll never Kyle Star. I'll never have fatigue of Star.
Yeah.
I mean, just her laughing at Mary during Tribal, and then just basically kind of explaining what Mary said, but in very blunt terms, while Mary agreed, that's fantastic. Thank you.
I'm going Kyle. I liked how he came off telling his story. I think he's very emotionally intelligent, maybe is the word. I think that his social game is great, and I think he's in a good spot. I just like Kyle. I just think he's a cool guy.
Can you pull up Austin S's thing right there? So I think Austin S is way off base. No, buddy. The Jib Cut Week goes to Star for learning how to swim.
Yeah, that's true.
I love Mitch. Mitch is great. Big Mitch guy. But let's give some credit to Star.
Mm-hmm.
I would almost say Jib Cut of the Week goes to Star for not knowing how to swim, because she knows that she would then be too perfect. It's like her last Infinity Stone. She's like, I can't have everything. Like I'll have one flaw in my life, and it's that I don't know how to swim. And
guess what? She overcame it.
Yeah, and I appreciate her. It's insane to go on Survivor and not know how to swim. But hey,
I got an update from our favorite Twitter account, Star Updates. I mentioned this earlier. They're losing it a little bit. Not happy with the way things have been going lately on Survivor.
Rightfully so.
The last tweet says, in one episode, Eva got almost as many confessionals as Star has gotten all season. Should I kill myself? So not happy.
While I think those are drastic measures, the point should not be ignored.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's true. But the Star Updates is crashing out a bit. So
hey, rightfully so.
My jib cut goes to Joe though, because I did not like him at all before this, and now I don't dislike him after that episode.
All right, that's it. So I'll talk about the Fiji trip a little bit. If you guys got any questions, you could put them in the chat. I'll try to star them. But and I wrote a blog about it that I'll post tomorrow, sort of more details, like 3,000 words. But a few months ago, CBS reached out to Jordan Berry, our PR person, and was like, would Tommy want to do a Survivor, basically brand trip experience, him and other I feel that we use the word influencers a lot this trip. I never consider myself, I feel like I couldn't influence anyone to like screwing a light bulb, but that's how we were referred to the whole trip, as the influencers. And there were 8 of us, flew out from LA to Fiji last Monday into Wednesday because of the time changes. Fiji's 19 hours ahead of LA, and it's like an 11-hour flight. Jeez. But first time I've ever had the lay down bed, like they gave us first class, business class.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Right. 2 meals. They come and they make their bed for you. Like they're like, would you like me to make your bed for you, sir? And they pull out the blanket, you lay down. I can never sleep on planes, and I was able to sleep on that plane for like 4 or 5 hours. It was great. I stayed at this awesome resort, Sofitel Resort in Fiji, and like first day is like this day of luxury. You got spas, everything. And then we did the main thing we're there for was the Survivor experience, 36 hours out on the island. I can't like talk about exactly what happened because it's all going to be an episode that I think airs in September on the Survivor CBS YouTube. And they're going to edit it like a real Survivor challenge, where it was a Survivor episode, which is a challenge, had a tribal council. It wasn't like it went all the way down to a winner. That's what I wasn't sure if it was going to be like. It was just like one tribal council to like get the taste of it. So it's not like there was a full thing. But yeah, the other influencers were great. And really my main takeaways were, and then we got to see a production or tour the whole production camp. Like they have like 6 or 7 islands they do stuff on, whether it's where the people stay, where they build challenges, do challenges. Like all the producers stay at like this base camp together, that they basically rent out this whole resort. Very cool. And then we saw the start of the taping of the 49th season. Like we saw the the marooning and all that. Can't say much more, but saw that. So that was very like unreal. And yeah, I would say the main takeaway, Survivor, harder than it looks. Like that really was. I mean, granted, it was only a day and a half, but it was the one of the cameramen that was with us overnight said it was the second worst weather night he ever worked. It was just nonstop rain like the entire night. And honestly, the worst part is the darkness. Like the sun sets at like 6 p.m. and rises at like 6 a.m. So it's 12 hours of darkness, and you obviously have no idea what time it is. Like you're just kind of blindly guessing. The bamboo is 10 times worse than it seems like it's gonna be. Like it's crooked. You're supposed to sleep vertically on the bamboo. So like you're supposed to put the bamboo next to each other like that, and you sleep sort of with it. We didn't realize that at first, and we slept so it was like all horizontal. And I can't say anybody who's on the Survivor 49 cast, guys. People in the chat, come on. So we slept all horizontal, and it's like all in my back and stuff. Like I think I slept for like 30 minutes to an hour. The bug situation, not as bad as I thought it would be. There were definitely a few times where I felt shit on me, crawling on me in the middle of the night, but it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. And I think honestly the rain helped. Like there was so much rain that I think that lessens the bugs. Darker than I thought. Like, you really can't see anyone next to you, but you see how people can bond. Like we were there, 8 of us, and like by the morning I knew everybody's favorite cereal, their favorite cookie, the worst thing that ever happened to them. Like you just stay up all night and you're like, guys, we got to find something to fucking talk about. Like there's nothing to do. Like boredom's definitely a real factor where, we were only there minimal in a pretty jam-packed schedule, but there's definitely a lot where it's like you're sitting on the beach. It's 12 hours of darkness. You can't go explore. So I see how boredom gets to people. Yeah, just really, really, really life-changing, cool experience. Like I would say Wednesday night, I was at my hotel and I was like, God, these fucking pillows are so flat. And then when I got back there Friday, I was like, these pillows are like fluffy clouds. So, yeah, no, it was just really cool. Everybody from CBS was awesome. The whole like CBS like marketing team and stuff that was with us, they really gave us like the full experience. We saw like Fijian local stuff, start to finish, like truly the trip of a lifetime, and like something I'll never forget.
Did it make you want to do the show more or less in the future? Like, would this make you like more likely to sign up or like less likely?
More. I mean, listen, in the moment, it's definitely like the most miserable I'd ever been in my entire life. Like in the moment, you're like, this sucks. But when you're out of it, I'm almost glad that we had such a bad night, because it's like we got as bad as it could be. Now, obviously, when it becomes 26 days of it, like that's way worse. But like, I know that the worst, I'm going to have basically as bad of a night out there as I could have. And yeah, I felt like, all right, I could do this. I'll say the hunger really didn't get to me, which I thought was weird. Like 36 hours, whatever, didn't eat. I think my mind was just so focused on other stuff and like the adrenaline, but I really didn't get hungry at all. But I could obviously understand people will eventually get hungry.
Damn, that's awesome.
Sounds awesome. I mean, it sounds like an incredible experience.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other stuff that I could like. Oh yeah, I could say like it's cool also when they transport. They did it to us when they transport the cast to challenges and to tribal. Oh, the tribal set's unbelievable. The tribal set's just it's so much cooler than it looks on TV. And they even said that they were like, we build it here. Like we build it for the people here. Like the magnitude of it doesn't get shown on TV. It's also all outside. I don't know why I always thought there was a cover. There's no cover.
No, it rains on them when they're there.
I know, but I don't know why. I just always thought there was like a little bit of a color. A cover, sorry. But yeah, the magnitude of it is incredible. One thing is, it's cool when they transport you to a challenge or to tribal council. Like you're not allowed to talk at all. You're not allowed to talk to the people, and you're also like you get on a boat and you go underneath in the boat, completely blacked out, so you can't get your orientation of where you are. Then you get right off onto a truck, closed up truck in like the back, so that you can never get like any sort of orientation of like, this is where this is shooting, this is where this is shooting. Really kind of takes your senses out of it, which was cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not sure what all I can ask, but that was one thing I always wondered about the confessionals and like people screaming in confessionals and like being able to like overhear like conversations.
The confessional, I mean, anything
or like
The confessionals we did were like way far away. You were fine.
So they're just really far away. And then did you have any fire making? I don't know if I can ask that either.
I don't know. I don't think I can say that.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Cool.
I look forward to the blog tomorrow because I don't want to ask anything. I don't want to like fuck anything up because it sounds like it's just a cool experience. Everything you said sounds awesome. I'm dying to read this blog tomorrow because it's like you kind of had like the ultimate fan experience. It's very cool.
Yeah, truly. Like, and also people were like, oh, like I saw there were some TikToks being like, anyone that got on this can never go on the real show. Like that's just not true. Like we clarified that with the CBS people. They were like, if anything, I think one or multiple of you guys could get like cast from it. So I feel like, my chances have. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I feel like my chances have never been higher, quite frankly.
Oh, I would totally.
Yeah, I got it.
Also, like, we went to that Survivor thing at the Survivor premiere.
Yeah.
And they seemed excited. Like, people were there were excited to see you. Like, I don't see how this is only a positive. How would this be a negative? Like, also, it shows, like, you are there. Like, you showed up. You weren't a crazy person, like, assuming.
Right. Well, we'll see. Maybe said some slurs or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy's capable of anything. We know that.
We'll see if he burned any bridges.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess you'll have to tune in to find out. But no, it was great. And they really like cannot say enough nice things about like the CBS like whole team. Like they made and like the other influencers there, like everybody was like I didn't really, outside of publicity was there. I used to work at Barstool. Like I didn't know, I'd never even heard of anyone else that was there. But like everybody was great, and like everybody was a Survivor fan. Like they were like, that was the most important thing, is that we weren't like, outside of, I'm probably the only person of the 8 that like makes Survivor content with like this show. Like none of the others like make Survivor content, but everybody's a legit and like very true fan of the show. It wasn't like, let's just grab a random influencer with a bunch of followers and put them on. Like everybody there was like in awe the entire time, which I think made it really cool.
Nice.
So yeah, it was great. And hopefully I get to go on the show one day. Even if I don't, the fact that I got to like live that experience out is like, I'll never forget it. So it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I'll look through the chat. Any questions? This guy I lost one. Someone said spider. Yeah, there were some spiders. It wasn't too cold at night, thankfully. There were some bad breezes occasionally, but it was more just the wetness of the rain that was the worst part. Yeah, that person said how cold. Let's see. Who was the most famous person there? Mr. Beast's guy, Carl from Mr. Beast is like huge. Like he was getting, I'm like pretty out of the Mr. Beast world, but like he was getting recognized by like the masseuses at the Fijian resort. Like Mr. Beast is ginormous, and he was great. Camera in your face at night. Yeah, there was a cameraman with us all night. Oh, I peed so much too. I took a rock home with me. I see someone at, what did I get? Oh yeah, the picture. Everyone was like, "Oh, I looked so bad in that picture." I was excited. I don't know. It was hot.
You looked insane. You look. Some of these.
I was wide-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah, but like you looked insane with the Hawk Tuah girl, and now you actually looked like a drug crazed maniac. The Hawk Tuah one. This one, you just looked like a lunatic. Some pictures you look bad. It's okay. I mean,
I'm sorry. I was excited. Fucking sue me. Oh, and no dumps. I wanted to try an aqua dump. Everyone said you got to try an aqua dump, but
is that what they
never
do?
had to go.
What? People shit in the. Why?
What? They just say an aqua dump is the way to go.
Oh, but then what if it washes up on you?
You're supposed to put your wash away with some sand.
Oh, don't do that. Just poop in a hole in the jungle. No.
That does seem better.
Yeah. Was there a bright ass light on the night? No light at all. That was another thing. Like darker than you would think. And like when it was an overcast night because of the rain. So like there were times we didn't even have the light from the moon. I mean, it was genuinely like pitch black. Then it cleared up a little, so like you get the light from the moon, which is like a little bit. But there were definitely times where it's like I was afraid to even walk out and pee because it was like completely pitch black. There's no, and like the cameraman, they can't talk to you or anything. Like we were fucking with them, trying to be like, what time is it? What time? But they're like trained, like you cannot talk no matter what.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah. How do people find idols at night? I have no fucking idea.
Well, that's what I was gonna. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I was gonna ask if you could like make fire to go like hunting with and stuff, but I don't know.
Heather asked, "How warm is the water?" I think it's a good question. Like, what is
Like,
like what was
it was warm. Like to go into was nice.
what was the general temperature there like during the day?
It was hot. It was hot. But it was on the first day was more like very rainy. Just like, and then the second day was like extremely hot. I think I almost would have preferred the rain, to be honest. Not at night, but like during the day, the heat was brutal.
It's kind of cool you did this at the same time as 49, because now when we watch 49, you're like, all right, I was there like a day before. I was there actually that day, I guess, for a part of it.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I'll see the beginning. I'll be like, oh, there I was.
Yeah, like that's kind of a cool way to kind of analyze the weather and just the general surroundings.
Yeah, I was definitely, even the last couple episodes I've watched, I was trying to be like, oh, I think I might know, or like that's how they did that or whatever. So and like, yeah, it's a Survivor family, really. Like they all care so much about the show. And like, Jeff, that was the other, like Jeff Probst is incredible. Like he's just like doesn't wear an IFB or anything, like literally explains all the challenges himself, walks people through it. He'll be like, stand there, like the camera's not going to get you here, like never flubs a line, is like asking people, question, you finish your question, boom, next person, boom, boom, Tommy, oh, okay, John, like just nonstop, like just a master of his craft. I know John Rich hates to hear that, but
John Rich is in shambles right now.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, and just a nice guy, just a really nice guy too. IFB is like a mic in your ear, someone asked.
It's like a cheat.
We had water. The water got a little brown at points, so we'd have to ask them to change it. I'd imagine that's the same thing on the show. Yeah, I'm trying to think anything else. I mean, obviously I could talk more about it in the fall. I don't think I gave anything away just now that I wasn't allowed to say, right? Like nothing about, they were basically like, just don't say anything about the results of the experience, and don't say anything about season 49, which
I think we have. I think maybe we should do one of these after your show is out.
Yeah, definitely. I think we should maybe I could have some people on from that did it too. So they filled the wells with filtered water. No, we didn't have, so we weren't staying on a part where the actual tribes were going to stay. We actually stayed on the island that they filmed Castaway on. Like we didn't stay on an island that like any of the 49 tribes were going to stay on. So we didn't have like the exact setup that they have. So they had just like this little, like just put out this little, I don't know, fucking basket that had like water in it that we would get water in. So I don't know like the actual well situation with like the actual island. Anything else?
I think that's all I got for questions for you. I'll see. Yeah, I have questions, but I don't want to give away anything. So
yeah.
Were
you? Did anyone? No one cried, but I listen. I still get annoyed. I'll still get annoyed when I see people cry on the rail show. But I was like, okay, I get why people cry. I was like, after like 14 days, I can understand why maybe you might have a tear or two. Hardest part, like the worst part was just the sleeping conditions. I think like what made it it's just literally how uncomfortable the bamboo is. Like, not that I thought bamboo was gonna feel like fucking a mattress, but like just quite how uncomfortable it is. It's jarring.
I feel like I wouldn't sleep on the bamboo. I would just sleep on
you could sleep on the sand, but then you worry about the bugs on the sand.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't see any snakes.
I think we probably should call it there.
Yeah,
I think now we're starting to get to
probably true.
Dangerous water here. So
yeah, I don't think I said anything else.
I don't think you did either. But now the only thing
I want to
ask would be questions that would now be
right. Yeah, I want to leave. I mean, and like there's so much more that nobody's even seen. So like definitely tune into that when it happens. And I think it's gonna be September. I think it's gonna be right before the start of the new season. So yeah, it was incredible, and I could answer way more questions when we do that Snuffing Torches recap. That. All right, that's it. Tune in to Snuffing Torches next week. Yes, I saw someone ask, like, put together, are we going to have anyone else on? Yeah, I think we'll have some more players on throughout the rest of the season. So be on the lookout for that. Like, subscribe. I'll post my blog tomorrow talking more about the experience and everything. So check that out. And yeah, see you next week.
Later, y'all.